Tell your wife to watch her mouth. That's what the taller one said, Denise Harper's oldest, Tyler, while stomping up onto my porch like he owned the place, full of swagger that only comes from never having to clean up your own mess. Right behind him, his little brother Chase, arms crossed, smirked like this was all some kind of reality show, not my life they were barging into. I'll never forget the sound of the November wind rattling the oak tree out front, sending dead leaves skittering across the gravel. Right as my wife Lily stood frozen behind the screen door, white-knuckled around her coffee mug, barely holding it together. I just stared at those boys for a second. I wanted to see if even a sliver of decency lived in either of them, but all I found was arrogance handed down straight from their mother. Tyler's voice cracked, just a little, when he said it again. You hear me, man? Your wife's been spreading lies about my mom. That's when I decided I was done with this circus. Step off my porch, I said, low and steady, not taking my eyes off his. He barked out a laugh. You think we're scared of you? Then Chase, just itching to get in on the action. Mom says you used to be a Marine. Guess she wants to see if you still fight like one. Behind me, I could hear Lily's breath hitch. Ethan, please. I tilted my head real calm. Go inside, babe. I could see Denise herself, parked halfway down the street in her pearl-white SUV, window just cracked enough to fit her phone through. Recording, always recording. She wanted me to snap. Tyler got right in my face, the smell of cheap cologne and teenage bravado flooding the little space between us. Apologize to my mom, he demanded. For what? For calling her a liar. I let a tiny smile slip. If the shoe fits, his hand twitched, and for a second I saw that crossroads every bully hits, swing or back down. I took a slow step forward, didn't blink, didn't raise my voice, just looked at him until he stepped off that porch without even realizing it. You done? I asked. He mumbled something and nodded at Chase, both storming off back to that SUV like they'd accomplished something. Denise, rolling her window down just enough to let her voice slice through the cold. You'll be hearing from the HOA, Mr. Cole. Threatening my family violates Section 4 of our Community Safety Code. I barked out a short laugh. You sent your family to my house, Denise. She flashed a politician's smile. That's your version. Mine's on video. The SUV door slammed, tires screeched, and just like that, the street was silent again. Lily stepped outside, pale as the frost on the grass. Ethan, what was that? She sent her sons here. Yeah, I said, and she wanted me to react. Her eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. I can't live like this. Every time I go to the mailbox, she's there with that phone out. What do we even do? I reached for her hand. We moved in, I said. That's all it took. The wind picked up again, rattling the old oak. I could see neighbors peeking out from behind blinds, no one coming outside. Laura Kemp, halfway down the block, pretending to rake leaves she'd already raked twice. Our eyes met, just for a second, before she looked away. Denise had them all scared. That's how she ran things. Intimidation, fake violations, whispered threats. But this, sending her sons, that was new. That crossed the line. What would you do if your neighbor weaponized her own kids to scare your wife? If you stood there watching someone else's grown children try to do their mother's dirty work? Because right then, as Lily tried to catch her breath, something in me snapped. That was the moment I decided I was done tolerating it. Let me back up so you know how this whole mess started. When Lily and I first moved into Maple Ridge Estates, we thought it was a fresh start. After a decade of military life, I just wanted quiet mornings and space to build my renovation business. The house had good bones, the oak tree out front. My dad planted that before he died. I'd promised myself I'd keep it standing no matter what. Then Denise Harper, HOA president, showed up our first week, big smile, eyes like winter. She handed us a binder the size of a phone book. Community standards, paint colors, lawn heights, mailbox styles. I thought it was overkill, but whatever. 3 weeks later, the first violation showed up, fence height. Then another for my work truck in the drive. By the fourth notice, it was obvious. Denise had a problem with me. When she realized intimidation didn't faze me, she went after Lily. The next morning, another envelope slid under the door, addressed in that fake fancy handwriting. Lily accused of allowing unsafe activities in the yard. Whatever that meant. I read it out loud, then crumpled it in my hand. Lily leaned against the oak tree, sunlight making her hair glow. "She never stops," she whispered, not with fear, but with exhaustion. "Every day it's something else." I nodded. Every day she's losing her mind a little more. Down the street, Laura pretended not to watch, but I caught her eye, a split second of shared understanding. She knew. Everybody did, but nobody wanted to get involved. Denise wasn't subtle. Over the next week, she escalated. Lawn inspections at dawn, notes on my truck, violations that didn't exist, neighbors knocking at night with concerns. Each time, I kept calm, documented everything. 10 years of military and renovation work teaches you, observe, record, wait. That's what I did. But one afternoon, Lily was outside trimming the hedge when Tyler and Chase rolled up again, this time blocking the driveway with a bike. Lily froze. I came out, didn't yell, didn't threaten. Just said, "You two are done here." Tyler tried to stand his ground. "Mom said, I don't care what your mom said. Go home." They retreated, but I saw Denise in her SUV, smiling. Lily sagged when they left. "Why us?" she asked. "Because they can, and because we're in the way," I said. That night, I saw Laura peeking from behind her curtains. I waved. She half smiled, half shrugged, trapped between fear and wanting to help. Denise added gossip to her playbook. Neighbors dropping off notes, friendly warnings, veiled accusations. Every rumor painted me as the troublemaker. I filed each one away, building a map of her harassment. One night, Laura showed up at the edge of my lawn. "You're handling this well," she said. "She's controlling everyone. You have to be careful." Her hands twisted together. "She'll come after anyone who helps." I nodded. "I know, but your voice matters." She nodded back, then disappeared. That night, standing under the old oak, I remembered my father's rough hands pressing that sapling into the dirt. This wasn't just about violations. It was about legacy, our home, our family. Denise could control the rules, the gossip, even her own sons, but she couldn't control me. Not my home, not my wife, not the truth. Morning after morning, more violations appeared. Hanging planters, obstructed sidewalk, tire marks on the lawn. I started snapping photos, time-stamping everything. Lily asked if we should just let it go. "It's exhausting." I shook my head. She's testing boundaries. Every rule she bends, every kid she sends, it's all calculated. Across the street, Laura saw me watching, then quickly busied herself with her flowers. Fear in every movement. One day, I called her over, voice low so Lily wouldn't hear. "You know what's right. You see it every day." Laura's hands trembled, jacket twisted in her fists. "I do, but if she finds out I'm talking to you, watching silently doesn't help anyone. Not Lily, not the neighborhood." She swallowed, shook her head. "I've tried to help before. It never ends well." I leaned in. "You have an advantage. You know her patterns. Every inspection, every note, every stunt, you see things most people miss." Laura flinched. "I do, but the fear," I nodded. "Fear keeps you careful. But even a silent ally counts." She took a step back, nodding, the first crack in her armor. That night, Lily and I sat at the kitchen table, reviewing a week's worth of notices. "Laura looks scared today," Lily said. "But something changed, didn't it?" I nodded. "She wants to help. Just needs the right way." Outside, the oak shadows stretched across the yard. The lesson was obvious. Denise's tactics only worked when everyone stayed silent. Next morning, fresh tire tracks carved up the side yard. Denise's SUV again. I snapped photos, marked the angle, the tread pattern, the distance to our foundation. Lily peeked out. "She did it again." I nodded. "And she's getting sloppy." Laura stood at her driveway, notebook clutched tight. She shuffled over, nervous as a rabbit. "I noticed something," she whispered, glancing at the tire marks. "Her kids always take the same route. Every time." I crouched, pointing. "Exactly. Every trespass leaves a pattern. Observation, detail. That's our advantage." Laura's eyes widened. "So we're watching them now?" "Yes. And documenting." The screech of brakes, Tyler and Chase again, circling the cul-de-sac on their bikes. I stepped out, hands open. Stop. Now. Tyler sneered. Or what? Or we show your mom the consequences of trespassing and harassment. Every move you make is being documented. They hesitated, then rolled away, muttering. I motioned to Laura. See? Details, repetition, patterns. That's the key. Your observations matter. She nodded. I'm scared. I put a hand on her shoulder. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. Don't confront, just notice. Your fear is a tool, not a weakness. That afternoon, reviewing Denise's digital trail, emails, timestamps, neighbor texts, everything lined up. Lily joined me, coffee in hand. You really think just watching and recording will work? I nodded. Observation isn't passive. It's strategic. Denise will overplay her hand. Later, Laura showed up, scribbling notes as I explained, patterns, time intervals, behaviors. She didn't say much, but her eyes were sharper, her resolve stronger. Maple Ridge Estates looked quiet, but I knew better. Denise's harassment was relentless, but every step she took left evidence. Observation was our weapon now. A day later, more tire ruts, this time across newly laid mulch. I snapped photos from every angle. Professional observation isn't just recording, it's interpreting behavior. Lily asked, should we call the cops? Not yet, I said. Evidence was everything. Laura peeked over a fence, notebook in hand. I nodded. She waved back. By now, she'd started documenting times and sequences herself, her fear transforming into precision. By late afternoon, I found scratch marks on the gate, deliberate attempts to bypass the lock. Each incident lined up with a fake HOA notice or a day when Lily was alone. I created a folder, images, timestamps, notes, a record of harassment, meticulously documented. Laura brought her notebook. All the times match your photos. Perfect. Independent verification. Even if Denise cried bias, this was airtight. At dusk, I leaned against the oak tree, puzzle pieces clicking into place. Every intrusion, every note, every attempt to intimidate, breadcrumbs straight to Denise Harper. By now, Denise's sons were getting careless. New tire marks, fresh scratches, repeated violations. I installed motion detectors, infrared sensors, every alert time-stamped. I cross-referenced every incident. There was a pattern, premeditated, not random. Every visit timed to maximize fear and minimize witnesses. One night, around midnight, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text. She's at your fence. Come quietly. I threw on my jacket, slipped outside. Laura Kemp stood by her mailbox, face pale in the moonlight. Don't talk, just look. Under the motion light, Denise crouched by the gate, flashlight clenched in her teeth, one of her sons standing watch. Metal scraped on wood. She was loosening my cameras, trying to blind my sensors. Laura filmed everything, hands shaking. She's been doing this for weeks, she whispered. Tonight I caught her. The adrenaline hit like a shock. Denise, tampering with private property, in the dark, with her son as lookout. This was criminal. Keep recording, I said. Laura nodded, tears sparkling in her eyes. Denise slid a folded note through the gate, then vanished into her SUV. Laura exhaled, clutching her phone. I can't do this anymore. She threatened to fine me for not going to the last meeting. I can't live like this. I met her eyes. You just helped everyone here. This is the proof we needed, physical tampering, intent, coordination. For the first time, she managed a shaky smile. You really think this will stop her? Yes, I said. When the evidence speaks, people listen, even the scared ones. The next morning, I synced Laura's video with my sensor logs. Time, location, action. My old security training kicked in. I drafted a report. Clear, factual, airtight. When Lily saw the footage, she whispered, she really did it. Laura filmed it. Yeah, I said. Now we can act. For the first time in months, the air felt different. Laura's footage was a turning point. Denise had crossed from intimidation to trespass, and the proof was in our hands. Laura arrived later, pale but resolute. I tracked them all night. Her, the boys, everything. Perfect, I said. Every attempt to evade documentation proves intent. You're giving us real-time proof. Her hands trembled, but she stood firm. I'm scared, but it feels right. Fear is good. It keeps us sharp. We're not exposing ourselves. We're exposing her professionally, methodically. That afternoon, we mapped Laura's notes to my logs and footage. Every violation, every tampering, every intimidation, synchronized, color-coded, precise. By evening, we had a 77-page report, photos, transcripts, logs. 3 copies. 1 for the board, 1 for the county, 1 for my desk. Insurance. The next morning, I walked up to the HOA office, envelope in hand, Lily and Laura at my side. Neighbors peered from behind curtains. Inside, Denise was waiting, sons at her side, clipboard like a shield. "Ethan, what brings you here?" she chirped. I handed the envelope to the board secretary. "This, everything you need to see about the harassment, intimidation, and tampering your president orchestrated. Photos, video, audio, every violation, every attempt to scare my family, every tampering incident. It's all here." Denise's smile faltered. Laura stepped forward, hands trembling but steady. "I recorded her last night, tampering with the gate, directing her sons, instructing board members to make violations stick. Timestamps matched the notices." The room went dead silent. The secretary flipped through the files, eyes wide. Denise tried to protest. "This is outrageous. You can't. Every step you took left a trail," I said. "Every note, every intimidation, every tampering. It's all here, and the community knows." The board murmured. Neighbors whispered. Denise's son shrank back, smirks gone. The balance of power had shifted. Laura's voice rang out, clear and strong. "I'm done being afraid. You can't threaten the truth." For the first time, Denise's mask cracked, her reign of intimidation, undone by her own predictability. The next HOA meeting was packed, neighbors filling every seat, tension thick as fog. Denise clutched her clipboard like a lifeline. I stepped to the front, Lily and Laura by my side, evidence in hand. "This contains proof of harassment, intimidation, and property tampering orchestrated by Denise Harper." I projected Laura's video on the wall. Denise crouched at my gate, flashlight in mouth, instructing her sons. Gasps echoed. A neighbor whispered, "I've seen her do that." I continued. "This isn't speculation. It's professional observation, deliberate, coordinated intimidation." Denise sputtered, "I was just following the rules." Following the rules doesn't mean breaking the law, threatening residents, or tampering with property. You failed every one of those tests. The board president, white-faced, cleared his throat. "We'll review this thoroughly. Immediate action will be required." Denise slumped into her chair. Her sons looked down, shamefaced. The community, at last, had seen the pattern, and the spell was broken. The next morning, Maple Ridge Estates felt new. Sunlight warmed the oak tree. Neighbors smiled again. Lily rested her hand on my shoulder. "You did it. We did it." Laura, pale but proud, joined us. "You were the turning point," I told her. "Fear isn't weakness. It's the start of courage." That old oak, battered by years of storms, stood tall, reminding me that patience, evidence, and community can outlast any bully. And as neighbors came out, chatting, laughing, finally feeling safe, I realized something simple but powerful. If you stand up, if you document, if you refuse to let fear win, even the most entrenched abuser can be exposed. For anyone watching this, if you felt powerless against unfair neighbors or authority, remember, evidence matters, courage matters, and a good strategy changes everything. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Where do you draw the line between standing up and letting things slide? Drop your thoughts below. I'll be reading every single one.